Do 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 do. Girl from Ipanema.
Every time you sing that, it reminds me of my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is he from Ipanema?
he wasn't. He was from here, but he always used to sing it for some reason.
Great song. Girl from Ipanema, ladies and gentlemen. Often played in elevators. I almost said umbrellas. Often played in elevators, dentist offices, lounges, things like that. So here we go. But Melissa's here.
Hi, Melissa.
Melissa, nice to see you again. Susie Eads is here, regular. Melissa's a regular now. Susie's been a regular for a while. What is up, everyone? What are we talking about today, Trish?
We are talking about goals for resellers.
All right.
It's a
Yeah.
very ever popular. Listen, this is a tough business, and a lot of us do this completely alone. And, or even like Jill just popped in the chat, like Jill's family helps her. But even with that, it's hard to make sure you're going in the way that you want to go with it if you're not tracking it and you have goals and you have things that you're trying to do. So I think goals are extremely important.
Yeah, definitely. And, good, important thing to help you measure your success. Always see what's working, what's not working. And there are all kinds of different types of goals, but very important in business. And, it's every time we talk about this stuff, it goes back to, no matter how big or small you are, if you're a nearly six-figure-ish seller like Trish or a nearly three-figure seller like me,
Exactly.
it's still important to have goals. And even I have goals. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, Trish, believe it or not.
I'm very glad. Yeah, Susie was gone for a few days because she was on a buying trip. So now we're all excited. Susie Eads is back.
And surely she had goals on that trip.
I'm
But
sure she did.
yeah, so we're gonna go through some stuff. Just and as always, welcome to List Perfectly Reseller Tips with Trish and Doug. Theresa has an appointment, but she will be back certainly. And we're gonna go through some goals. We're gonna get to a point where we show you a tool that we have available that can help you set, manage, and measure goals. And we want your interaction. We want your questions. We want your feedback. If you'd like to share some goals, if you'd like to
We would
share some tips.
we would love it.
um, but first of all, Melissa, I am not a big reseller at all. I'm working on it. I don't have a goal. I don't know how to set one since my sales are so low. So, Melissa, you've made an excellent choice today. No, and this is why we're here. We're here to help. And we'll share what works for us. And Trish has been selling for years. Trish is a very successful seller, very knowledgeable in terms of selling, and I do what Trish tells me. No.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes he does what I tell him. Um, so I wrote this little thing. I just want to say this. I think setting goals is crucial for the success and growth of any reselling business. And I would like to go on record as saying, Melissa, that's for brand new sellers, medium sellers, large sellers, entrepreneurial, big, huge, successful sellers. If you are not, if you do not know where you're going, it's hard to know how well you're doing. Um, Goals provide direction, motivation, and a clear benchmark for success. And that's my cat, so excuse him. I would like to say I'm not usually in my office. I'm usually in my kitchen, but things happen, and sometimes you end up in here when your husband decides he's going to cook for himself.
What's
Um,
what's he cooking?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I just was annoyed that I couldn't stay in the kitchen.
Um,
Um, And Jill, I just saw Jill wrote, Melissa, start with a simple daily listing goal. That is absolutely the best piece of advice. The best thing that you can do for your business is to have a consistent listing goal 7 days a week.
exactly.
That is absolutely, oh, Desiree, that's Desiree. She is absolutely right. These change. Listen, before I got my job here at List Perfectly, I was a six-figure full-time seller, and I wanted to be a seven-figure full-time seller, right? And as soon as I got this job, things changed. I didn't get rid of my business, but I had to make new goals for my business and decide what my business was going to be, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do work here and do what I was doing. I had to renegotiate with the business. So these are absolutely always renegotiable. And sometimes, you set a goal too low. Maybe you set it too high, but you need a little time and effort to look at those things. But yes, everything is changeable. Um, so goals can always help in prioritizing tasks, managing time effectively, staying focused on what matters the most. In the context of a reselling business, goals can range from target sales, which I think are very difficult, but we're going to throw them out there, and profit margins, which I think are easier to control, inventory management, customer satisfaction, customer relationships. But the biggest one on here, in my opinion, is a listing goal. That is the most important, and that is what will have the biggest effect on your business, a consistent listing goal. So we've talked about this before in Mastermind, Doug. I don't know if you were over there when we talked about it, but we talked about SMART goals.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um, yes. Wait, before you go to that though, I do want to address one quick thing.
of course.
Sorry to interrupt, but this
No.
is something I want to go back to what Melissa says. And that's the thing is yeah, start small, start daily, start baby steps.
Yep.
That's what I do with stuff, whether it's something that a project you're working on or something that's anxiety or stressing you out. Daily goals are great. And we're going to get into how goals should be. And, then we can, uh, we can harass me on some of my goals.
Yeah. I mean, Melissa, I'm really great. I mean, it's really great you're listing daily. And I just want to throw it out there for anyone who's watching this or hears this later. When we talk about listing daily, please do not feel like you have to um please do not feel like you have to list 7 days a week. You have to work 7 days a week. I think listing 7 days a week is going to be the absolute best thing for you in your business, but you don't have to work 7 days a week. You can bank some, have 14 in the bank so you can put 5 live Friday, 5 live Saturday,
Yeah.
4 live on Sunday because my math was off. Deborah,
Deborah, do you need help with something with List Perfectly, or is it a marketplace question? Because we can direct you where you can go to get help. So just let
yeah.
us know.
And the 24-hour chat, I think they were just being nice to us and saying that we were going live and to come in.
But thanks for coming over.
But thank you for coming in. We're glad you're here. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So with those, that is a way to look at a problem and to look at your goals and to make sure that if you want to set a goal, a SMART goal is a way to do it so that it's actually achievable and it's actually within a certain time. It is not so lofty that, it's unreachable. Now, I'm not saying not to have a lofty goal. I'm all in for a lofty goal, but I think those are different than SMART goals. Does that make sense, Doug?
Yes. One sec though. I'm helping help
Deborah.
Deborah out
Well,
here.
you keep doing that and I'll keep talking. It's what I do best. Um, okay, so specific. Clearly define what you want to achieve. Instead of saying increase sales specifically, maybe say increase sales by 20% next quarter. Again, increasing sales, I think, is really not in our control. The only thing we can control is how much we list. And once you get to the point where you're listing as much as you can in a day or comfortably, then the only thing that we can control that can help with sales is the ASP, average selling price. So right now, my average selling price is low. So if I wanted to be able to make more money by doing the same amount of work, I'd need to raise my average selling price. So to me, the only ways that you can do this comfortably is by listing more or raising your average selling price. All right, measurable. Ensure that you can track your progress. Use metrics such as sales numbers, profit margins, or customer reviews. Yeah, Deborah, tomorrow at 411, they have live tech help every day on Listing Party at 411. If you give me a second, I'll tell you what time it is tomorrow.
Go there and ask for Pat and tell him we sent you. No,
Tell him
Pat will be there. Pat's amazing.
So it is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. I do not know where you are in the country, but it's 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern.
3 Central.
What?
All right, this is good. 3 Central, I think. Melissa, can you give me an example of an ASP? That's a good question.
Sure. So ASP is average selling price. So what I mean in that way, you can use it a couple of different ways. So one way is what's the average selling price of red polo shirts, right? So you could go into eBay, you could look up all the red polo shirts that have sold over the last 30, 60, 90 days, and then figure out what the average selling price is. The way I was just talking about it is taking all of your sales for the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, again, whatever you wanted to, and divide it by the number of items you sold. And that would give you your average selling price. I hope that helped, Melissa. If not, ask something else and I will try to help you. So measurable, we just talked about, ensure that you can track your progress, use metrics such as sales numbers, profit margins, or customer reviews. So the reason you want that is so that you can track it. What we want to avoid, in my opinion, is throwing up stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. We want to make decisions based on actual data.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had some roles where I've worked in analytics, and it's like you have a goal, and sometimes you can set a stretch goal if you want to push yourself, sometimes 10% more or 20% more. But tracking is great. Um, a lot of sellers don't track their goals. They don't track their
No.
sales.
A lot
Um,
of sellers don't even know what
yeah,
their ASP is. They don't know what their sell-through rate is. They don't good. Glad to know that, Melissa. They don't, and Jill is right. I mean, Jill's in Mastermind. We've talked about this before, so she's very aware. Jill, we used to have a thing. Was it big, hairy something goals? The ones that were really large and that you had to really work for? Like stretch goals that Doug was just talking about, but I forget. It had an acronym also. But here's the thing about them. You need to know what you're looking at, right? You need to know what your real numbers are. And a lot of resellers, I don't think. Yes, thank you.
there we go, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you,
Thank you
Jill.
so much.
Ah, um, so be not only do you need to know your real numbers and your real goal, your real stuff to be able to make a goal, you need to be truthful enough with yourself to know what you're gonna do. If you make a goal, Doug, like Doug, how much do you list in a week?
Well, right now,
Yeah, right now.
right now I'm still rolling, so I'm putting drafts into List Perfectly, and I'm going to get those all together, and then I'm going to get them to going, and then I'm going to shoot to list 5 a day.
Okay, so Doug's at 0 right now.
0 right now. So my
So
stretch
if Doug
goal
said
is
to me exactly. So if Doug said to me, "I'm gonna go to 20 a day," I would be like, "That's crazy."
yeah.
Even 20 a week, I think is too much. Doug, if I was you, I would I would really do 1 a day for a
I was
week
trying to impress you, Trish.
and then go to 2 a day for a week and see if you can handle that.
Thank you.
Okay, and that goes into achievable. The goals have to be achievable. So setting goals that are achievable, um, challenging yet achievable, and consider your current resources and market conditions, and also your conditions, right? Doug is a full-time job. Doug has to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Doug needs to make sure, and that's a full-time
Full-time
job, guys.
job in itself.
That is a full-time job to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So he needs, I think, a smaller, way smaller goal than 5.
Okay, thank you. Oh, look at this. Wow. 150 to 200 a
Deborah,
day.
first of all, I don't know who the heck you are, but you need to be on here and tell us what you're doing, lady,
That's right,
because
that's
that
right.
is very interesting.
No, that's a solid goal, yeah. And consistent too, so you're being consistent, you've got this goal that surely you worked up to, it's manageable for you now. It's gonna take yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get there. I've got like 100 listed in LP right now, so
And why aren't they on if they're in LP?
because I still gotta clean them up and do the pricing, and I have a system, Trish. I
You
have a
do? You have a system? Because I
I do,
really
yeah.
think it's working for you.
No, I do, I just haven't listed yet. You know what, Trish, I'm just gonna go. No, I'm
She's
kidding. I'm kidding, everybody.
Yeah, I'm very interested to know what Deborah sells since she said we're a little different operation. I'm interested to know what that means. Relevant. So we did the S, we did the M, we did the A. Um, Good for you. See,
Yeah, thank
I was trying to be Deborah before I got this job. That was my goal. I wanted to be Deborah. So now we're going to R, which is relevant. Align your goals and your overall business objectives. Sorry. For a reselling business, relevant goals could be focused on sourcing high demand products or improving customer service. Um, Again, relevant is to what would help you in your business, right? I have 100% feedback at the moment. So me saying I'm going to concentrate on customer service really doesn't make any sense because it's going okay right now. Now, we all know that the feedback system at eBay has changed a little. So I know it's shocking.
you.
So this may not be the case in 3 months. In 3 months, I might be at 98% and feel like I need to make up some room. But for right now, I have things kind of under control. So I don't think me making like a customer service one would be good, right? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, it would be about, again, listing more. I know it's shocking.
There you go.
Um,
Multiple streams of income.
ooh.
Ooh,
So estate auctions, business liquidations, estate sales, appraisals, and a few other odds and ends. Good for you, Deborah. I'm very impressed. I love any woman who can have, what did she say? 8 people who working for her?
yeah, 8 people,
Awesome.
down from 14, but still that's a lot of people, and then, all these different, again, streams of income. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So back to smart. We did SMAR. So T, time bound. You want to set a deadline for your goals. This creates a sense of urgency and helps you in planning your actions efficiently. Um, I think that this is maybe one of the most important things because if I say, "Oh, I'm going to get to 5 listings a day," but I don't put a time on it, what does
Yeah,
it matter?
exactly, yeah. You wanna force yourself again, be reasonable, but it's a little bit of a forcing factor, gives you something to work towards for sure.
I think it's I say this to mastermind a lot, but you have to be honest with yourself and you have to know what you're good at and what you're bad at. And I think you have to know what's going well in your um I think you need to know what's going well in your business and you be able to look at it objectively. Good job, Catherine.
All right.
Um, and just so anyone who doesn't know, a bank is having those extra listings that you do not have to do the work every single day. Or if something happens, you can still have things that can go live. Some people put them in drafts, some people keep them in scheduled listings in eBay. Some people, people use it all different ways, but it's basically the same thing, and we call it a bank system.
That's what I'm doing, Trish. I'm building up my bank.
You're building up something, buddy. Not sure, not sure what it is.
So let's look at Susan's comment, and then I would like you, for those that don't know, tell us what mastermind is.
Sure.
So Susan is struggling to get sales, and she's resetting her goals, hoping to improve during the summer. I mean, I think I'll just weigh in, and then Trish will give you better advice. I think it's great to be able to pivot, to reset, try different things, learn new things, and that's where your goals can get you. See what's working, what's not, but always be willing to pivot and change and try new things.
Agreed. Um, Susan, I think this also depends on what kind of seller you are. Sales, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I really believe sales, listings and sales go hand in hand, hand in hand. I'm speaking specifically on eBay right now. I think the other platforms are driven by other things. Poshmark, of course, sharing.
Yeah.
I do think, adding new listings to Poshmark helps, but it's not as relevant as it is in eBay. To be a very successful eBay seller, no matter what you sell, unless you are selling something that is extremely hard to get or extremely hot at the time, consistency is what will pay you back with eBay. eBay loves to know that you're gonna feed it every day. It's like a bad baby. He wants to be fed every day, and
E-baby.
he's an e-baby. And if you feed the baby every single day, he will eventually start to even out and not be as cranky. I really believe that eBay, to get consistent sales, you have to consistently list. Now, I've listed every single day except for 1 week in the last 5 years. I have had sales every single day. We're going to take out that 1 week for 1 second. I've had sales every single day for the last 4 years and 3 months. So it took me 9 months of listing every single day. No, I'm not saying I didn't have a sale almost every day. I mostly probably did. But at the 9-month mark, I started having sales every single day, and I have not had a day other than 1 week when we went on vacation and my daughter forgot to we had the listings in the bank, but she did not schedule them. So
Ah.
we went on vacation, and that was the first time that I didn't have a sale in a day in over 4 years. It was.
Eh,
I was like more I was it was awful. I was like,
When
"What
did
is
you find
happening?"
out? How'd that go down?
I didn't make her feel bad at all. I didn't say anything. I said, "No problem, don't worry about it." What am I gonna say? You know? Um, by saying consistently I'm sorry. It's funny, I've been doing all of this time, but just recently started all the cross-posting stuff, and it's been a bit of a challenge. Yeah. Um, two things. The cross-posting will become faster and easier, the longer you do it. And I would there are certain things for me, for my non-negotiable is eBay, because eBay is the one that really so if I don't have time to cross post that day, I don't worry about it as much, but it's eBay first, the rest of them, then Poshmark, then the rest. But you have to know which platforms do the best for you, and so
Yeah,
then you can kind of make those decisions. If you're a handmade artist, maybe Etsy's your non-negotiable, right? And then the other platforms.
there you go.
Um Absolutely. That's a great plan, Kathy, and I think it's smart. Once you know that something's not obtainable for you, have it be obtainable, and if you go over, use it in your bank. I think that's great. Can you go down to what Lisa is asking?
You're gonna make me
Yay, Catherine!
gonna make
Um, by saying consistently listing on eBay, does it need to be the same quantity every day or any quantity every day? I'm gonna be now, Lisa, here's the thing, 2 things. eBay does not tell us, right? There is no magic manual. Nobody knows. If eBay was to say to us, list 10 items a day, every day, and you'll become a millionaire, we would all do it. So there is no magic formula. This is my own from working in this industry, for working for List Perfectly. These are my own ideas. And somebody may say, she is full of rubbish. I don't think I am. I don't think I am full of rubbish, even though I work with him. I think that you will have better results if you list the exact same amount a day, roughly. Now, I'm not saying you have to do 10. If you did 9 one day and 12 the next, do I think it's the end of the world? No. I don't think it's a good idea to do 50 and then 1 or 30 then 10. I do not think that's a good idea. I would aim for the same amount every single day. And if you're short, have something in your bank to add to it. And if you're over, put them in the bank for the next day or for whenever you need them. That's my opinion. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, and I think being consistent is gonna help you stay consistent. So it's like, yeah, if you can do 5 a day, keep doing 5-ish a day, but like you said, don't do 50, don't do 10, don't do blah. I think it's good to be consistent because it develops a habit. So there you go.
Focus on getting through, what is she saying? I sorry. Focus through getting through the stop selling books and clothes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. Sometimes we end up buying things and then we decide, all right, I don't want to be in this niche anymore. But I kind of agree with Catherine. I own it. I'm going to sell it. And then, after I get it on, I'll start to see what else there is.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yep, yep.
Um, I do not know. Stop. Okay. What the heck am I doing here?
Did you lose me, Trish?
No, I didn't lose you, but now everything went gray. Huh. Um, is there somewhere on eBay or any web pages that can tell you what is selling and what people are searching for? Yes. So eBay has a search feature, a thing within it that used to be called TerraPeak, which I now think is called eBay Research. Can you look that up, Doug? Because my computer and I are having a fight.
Okay.
Oh, I just fixed it. We're no longer fighting. I think it's called eBay Research.
Product research.
So that is a site. So TerraPeak used to be a third party site and eBay bought it. And when they bought it for a long time, it was kind of a separate entity. And in the last 6 months or so, they've brought it more into mainstream eBay. But you can go in and search, and you can go in and just see what people search. Um, it is a very interesting tool, and I would totally suggest playing with it and going through it because it can give you some invaluable advice. And the other thing I would say, Melissa, is if you're just starting out, look up the sell through rate on every single thing that you were going to buy. And if you're not buying and you're just selling things you already own, even if you already own them and so you're not paying for them, look up for the sell through price and decide if you would buy it or not. Being able to look up the sell through price and figuring out sell through rate, looking up the sell through rate, figuring out how fast it would sell and what this means and how much money and what it sells for. This is an invaluable tool to have in your arsenal because you'll get better and better and better at picking. Um,
So for fun, just looking at like red polo shirts.
Yeah,
So we're talking about those. So this is
yeah.
that research tab in your seller hub, and you can go in and search stuff, and then obviously you can see what sold, what's active, go from there, use that information. And this, this line up here is super useful when you're pricing, to look at all this stuff. I don't know if I'd buy a $638 polo shirt, but
Well,
ASP right here, right?
yeah, and what's the average? I can't see it, it's a little too small.
2073, $20.73.
So then when you go and the sweat and the and the red polo is 15, you automatically think, "Well, I can't buy it. The average selling price is 20 bucks." Right? But when it's a dollar, then you're like, "Oh, okay, I can buy this." So it gives you a ton of information in a very short time. And I am betting that the average sell through rate on those are not very fast. So you'd be sitting on it. But would I sit on a dollar? Yeah, I would. Would I sit on 15? Not as much. So you just have to decide where you're willing to put your money, your time, your effort. Oh, totally. Kathy wrote, don't forget that size can make a difference in sell through rate. Absolutely. Um, I can sell the crap out of a 2X shirt, right? But that same 2X shirt, if it was a small, I probably couldn't sell it. Some of it's based on just what you sell the most of, and that's kind of what I feel like. I sell a lot of plus size clothes, so eBay gives me a lot of plus size love, so to speak. It gives me those buyers. But when I put on like a junior's shirt, even if it's the same style, whatever, I don't sell it as well. Um, yeah, consistency is key. Are we talking about on eBay, Susan? And are you talking about active listings or in drafts? While we're finding that out, let's just go over types of goals. For me, there's two types. I don't know about you, Dougie, but I have short-term goals and long-term goals.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So for me, short-term goals could be, saying to Liz, I need to make sure we get, 20 a day up for the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because I need to make up some time or money or whatever. Um, those are short-term goals that to me are kind of like based on what's going on in your business at the moment.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, so yeah, so for me, my short-term goals are to get some listings on the marketplaces.
Right.
So,
Um, and then long-term goals are much, broader. I mean, it could be what I want to do the rest of the year, how I want fourth quarter to be, maybe what I want to do to get ready for the Christmas rush, or what I want to do for maybe even first quarter next year. I'm a used clothing seller. And for me, first quarter is usually my best quarter, not fourth quarter, usually. So for me, I try to think about stockpiling stuff sometimes for first quarter because that's when I sell the most. So those kinds of things.
there you go. Um, yeah, and like my long-term stuff is is I want to grow, I want to get more money coming in, I want to sell again, I want to get that back up, I want to develop that and get to those, multiple streams of income. It's like, and that's the thing for like my family is my wife and I have both sold, so that's an easy way for us to bring in more income in this challenging economy. And like when each of your kids is in an accident and California raises the insurance rates across the board, and your insurance goes up, you know, twice what it usually is. When your wife works in the education system and she's off for the summer, so she doesn't get a paycheck, that's the thing.
What is this? Doug's non-goals? How to fix Doug's?
No, but a goal is to grow
Yeah,
get back to selling, grow that business, get those extra incomes. I
multi
can
did
do
you
music
ever
podcasts. Huh?
Yeah, it's true.
I
But
could
did
do
you
it. Go
did you
ahead.
ever have a income stream from reselling?
I mean, a little bit. So, but it was mostly to get rid of stuff, and I've never had a sourcing problem. I've got so much stuff to list, it's ridiculous. And it's just, again, stuff I've had forever. A lot of books that I'm like, I'm just going to part with those. And then a lot of cleaning up and things like that. And I like to sell books. I like to sell video games, but I've got some other stuff. You know, let's see what I got, Trish. That's the wrong bin, Trish. I was
While Doug is looking through his bins, I would like to say that Doug's wife has an Etsy store. No, I'm being serious.
I know.
And she makes these aprons, which I'm not really going to explain because they're a little dirty, but funny for adults.
Everybody.
But what does she do that all year? I mean, you showed me the photos. I think they're adorable and sassy and bad all at the same time. They're awesome.
Say yes, they are sassy. She's Martini Mercantile on Etsy and across the board. She was making them all year, but she stopped because she went back to work, and so she was working as an instructional aide and then coaching my son's throwing team on the track team. So she didn't have the time, but let's just say she does have some sassy. It's like sassy Etsy, late night Etsy.
So is she back to doing those?
She's back and listing, and so she's looking for sales.
They're cute. They're really cute.
Yeah, they're nice. You should get one. Get one for
Martini. If I wore that, my husband would think I had lost my mind.
get one for Thayer.
He would. Okay. You obviously don't know him
We've
well enough.
crashed the show.
Okay, but what was it? Martini Mercantile?
Martini Mercantile.
Martini as in like her name, Mer, or Martini?
Martini.
Martini. Okay.
Put
Cute.
it in the thing.
It's
Not
cute.
to do a plug.
No, I wasn't doing it for a plug. I was doing it like because I thought it was really. I thought they were cute, and I thought it was kind of. I was when you brought her up. I was just wondering if they were still doing it. Um.
Yeah, but
Okay.
those are available. The aprons are available, ladies and gentlemen.
Just go look at them, Jill. If you're still here, go look at it so you can tell me tomorrow how funny it is. Because I have lots of questions, but I'm not going to ask them here. Tips for effective goal setting. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Because if I say I'm going to do X and it's not written down, it doesn't matter. That's the first thing. Break down large goals. Yes, Doug writes down everything. Break down large goals. Divide long-term goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Jill's looking now. I can't wait till I hear what she has to say.
How do I let go from this perfectly?
This makes the process less overwhelming and allows for steady progress. Because, like, I think Kathy was smart. She went from 5 to 7, realized 7 was too much and went back down to 5, and is now, putting those extra ones in the bank. And once she can do 5 daily without any trouble, go to 6 and try 6 daily to see if you can do that for a while without any trouble. Make them manageable. If you want to go from 5 to 10, don't go from 5 to 10. Go from 5 to 6.
There you go.
Stay at 6 and then go to 7. I know you all don't know how to count. Regularly review and periodically assess your progress towards your goals. Look and make sure you're going in the right direction. Sometimes we're not, I changed some strategy for a little while and I realized that my ASP went down really far. And I was like, okay, guess we're going to readjust that. But if I hadn't been looking, I don't know when I would have noticed.
There you
Right.
go. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's, that was what we were just talking about too, is like, if you push yourself up to 7 and 7 isn't working, go back to listing 5.
Exactly. Right. And that's part of staying flexible, right? Like stay
Yep.
flexible.
Yep.
If 7's not working, go back. You can always tweak this. None of this is set in stone. Moses is not up there doing the little tablets and bringing them down on the mount. What? Mount
Mount
Sinai?
Sinai. I
Yeah, I
bring
was
you
gonna
these
say that.
15, 10 commandments.
I was gonna say Mount Sinai, and then I was like, "I think I'm wrong." Celebrate milestones. Acknowledge and celebrate when you achieve a milestone. It boosts morale and motivation because this is not an easy business. It's easy as in there is almost no barrier to entry, right? We all can get stuff. And really on some of these marketplaces, you can list for free at the first day. So, getting started in this business is there's no barrier. Anyone can do it. Staying motivated and staying a long time in this business, that takes persistent consistency and work. And the more you can think of it as the elephant. I mean, what who ate the elephant? One bite at a time? Who was that? Is it a
That was Horton when he was hearing a who.
Okay. Well, if we're all going to eat the elephant, doing it in little bites is smarter than big hunks. So
Well,
think
first of
of
all,
yes.
it's illegal.
Okay, well, I don't really want to eat the elephant.
Elephants likely taste like chicken.
I doubt I doubt it. But thank you for putting that in there. Um okay. So then I just want to talk about for a minute how I think setting these goals will help you in your reselling business specifically. I think it will improve your focus so that you have, you're not just out there willy nilly running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Because I did that for a very long time. Um, Most of you probably know this, but I owned a brick and mortar consignment store that was a absolute failure, and I ran around like a chicken trying to make it work. And it wasn't until I said, "All right, this isn't going to work. What else can I do?" It wasn't until I was honest enough with myself to have the moment of I'm a failure, now I need to get rid of these clothes. And I was very focused on getting rid of the clothes in a timely manner, blah, blah, blah. And by the end of it, I decided I was going to keep going. But I needed to improve my focus and I needed to have priorities and I needed to have tasks because for so long, all I did was open, close, try to get people in. I just ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. And you need to be able to be successful. You cannot do that.
You improved your focus.
I improved my focus. So, enhance productivity. With specific targets in place, you can place, plan, and allocate your time and resources more efficiently. Might help if I could speak. So, even if the motivation and the accountability is only to yourself, that can help. I was um, lucky when I first started this. My father would call me every day and say, "How much did we sell today?" Every single day. "How much did we sell today?" And then he would always say to me, "Did we go did we go to the post office yet?" Every day. Um, and I have to be honest, having him call me to ask me how many we sold today was motivation in a very small sense because when I started, I was selling crap, and there were days when I'd have to say to him, I didn't really sell anything. Um, but it was helpful to know that someone else at least was paying attention
Yeah.
and cared whether I sold or not.
Yeah.
And so if you're in the position where you're brand new at this, get a buddy. Get one of us. Ask Doug, ask ask any of the people, come to the classes, be one of us because we'll care and we'll care if you do in your listings. There are groups, there are, paid groups that you can pay. Not that I think you need one, but there are paid groups that you can go in and that will, want to know how many did you list today? What did you make today? What's, to try to help you get to the next level. These things can help you and can motivate you. And so if you need that, seek it out. Listing Party is a perfect place to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, I also think this will help you make better decisions regarding inventory, regarding pricing, regarding marketing and customer service. It will help you figure out exactly where you should be if you are just open to looking at the data. You got to look at the data.
Ta-da.
Growth and scalability. I almost said stability, and I was like, what the heck kind of word is that? Growth and scalability. By setting and achieving goals, you can systematically scale your business, enter new markets, and enhance profitability. That is exactly what I did. I went from, a few thousand to over six figures. It took me about 2 full years to do it, but I did it. But I did it by saying, all right, I'm going to do XYZ. And once I attained that, I went to the next step. And once I attained that, I went to the next step. And for me, that meant that I did not go from cross posting, in this, I'm not saying the way I did it is right. Okay. But I went from listing every day, everything on eBay, to listing every day, everything in LP, and then starting to cross post to Posh. And I stayed like that for a very long time until I felt comfortable, and then I could go to the next level. Doug, is there someone there?
No. Why?
Because you looked over behind you twice.
I was
And I was,
looking at my bookshelf, and I was, like,
oh,
thinking about Terapeak, look, so
I thought you were, someone was going to walk in on you. And Desiree wrote, LP has become a family and everyone is so helpful. That was sweet,
oh,
Desiree. But here's the thing about LP. We're only successful if you're successful. We're not successful by having a reseller come in and decide in 6 months it's too hard and to leave and not be a reseller anymore. We're successful when we help a reseller who's been doing it for 6 months get to the 100, get to the six figures, get beyond that. We are only successful if you're successful. And that is why we put all the effort and time into Listing Party. And that is why we put all the effort into time into these kind of things. And Clara and Amanda do the Friday live. And, we do coffee talk on Mondays and we hope that these things will continue to grow and be more valuable. And I would like to say we're open to whatever you guys want. There's a topic you want to cover, please let us know. There's something you want to know more about, please let us know. This Friday, just so you guys know, Patrick and Doug will be doing What Not to Do with List Perfectly Friday at 2 Eastern.
it is, 11 AM Pacific.
Yeah, so 2, I was right. And so 11 or 2. And, Patrick will be there, who is what is his
He is LP's, Director of Innovation.
innovation, right? Yeah. And he'll be there. He's great to answer questions. He knows all the tech stuff that Doug and I really do not. We are trying, but we're not always. We don't. We know where to go. We know how to get the answers. We just don't always know them. But Patrick's the dude. So if you guys are going to be around on Friday, we would definitely suggest come because it will be great.
It'll be a delightful hoot.
A delightful hoot.
Here
Yeah.
on the, Let's Perfectly YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen.
So that's kind of talks about goals. So before we start to wrap up, Doug, I think you should talk about goals from Listing Party and what Listing Party is.
All right, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have this fantastic community I'm going to share, and I'm going to go there, called Listing Party, and it's at listingparty.com. And surely many of you are familiar with what we call the events, the live stuff that we do every day, 7 days a week. And there are other things there, other sections there that we're going to focus on some more. But today we do want to talk a little bit about the goals feature in Listing Party. And Trish, hop in as you see fit. I'm going to share. Do. So what can you, let's see my little screen there. So
Yes,
that
correct.
is my that's my profile there.
Okay, so just so everyone knows, if you have a list Perfectly subscription, you automatically belong to Listing Party. It's the same credentials, you just have to go in and set up a profile.
Yeah, you just go over there. It's easy to connect them. So real quick, you get a profile, directory of other listing party people that you can connect with, over topics, over stuff they sell, and things like that. Messaging, listings, people you can list on here, and people can click through to buy on the marketplaces. Obviously, all know about events. Right now, the crux of Listing Party, the live events, stuff every day, 7 days a week, including the 24-hour party hangout that always has people there. But we want to focus a little bit on this cool goals feature. So, let me see, listingparty.com/goals. And then you can go in here. You've got different types of goals, different measurements, searching, upcoming, overdue, completed goals, adding a goal. So you could select a goal type, listing, listing prep, etc. So let's do a listing goal, Trish.
Yes, sir. Listing prep is interesting. Oh, huh. Do you know that I don't think do listing prep. I just wanna see one thing for 1 second. So when you hit drop down, is there anything
This
that
one.
so you do listing prep, is there a drop down? Oh, okay. Photography, cleaning, mending, steaming. Interesting. So I don't think I realized that that was there because I just use it for like personal things because I didn't realize that was there. Interesting.
Create draft listing. So what do I want to do? Do I want to do create draft listing? So 5 a day?
Yeah. It's the up and down button.
Yeah. I was curious if it would type. 2, 3, 4, 5. And so let's do next week, and then I can make some notes.
To prove Trish wrong.
Aha. And then I save it.
Yep.
And there it is. And so I can go back, look at it, edit it, add progress, mark it complete, delete it, and then, add other goals, and
So
they
there's
will list in here as well.
yeah, and there's personal ones. There are a lot of different what I like about it is it's a tangible thing that you can go and look at. Like you can see it. Some of us do really well with having to check things off lists. And if you were that person, this could really help you.
Yeah, and
And then
so and if you don't know where to start, if you don't have a tool, if you don't have access to a tool, this is just a great easy thing to use. And hopefully you're in listing party all the time anyway, so you could just shoot over to goals and set some goals.
um, I do think that this is a feature that's underused right now. I'm thinking that we should do something on Listing Party about it. Maybe let's have something for the summer, like a 6-week goal challenge or something.
Yeah, that would be great. Something
Yeah.
like where you meet regularly and like, how are you doing towards your goals,
Yeah. I think it
etc.
would be a good idea. So if anyone's interested in that, let us know. I think we'll set something up and we'll try that. I really like the short, like, 4 or 6 weeks. Especially the summer is kind of hard. I think that the summer is one of those times where a lot of people slag off or slack off because it's fun, because there's stuff to do and yeah. Combat summer slowdown with a listing challenge. Yeah, definitely. Let's do that too, Jill. I'm going to set both of those up just to annoy Doug.
There you go. Come on now.
Yeah, Susie, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool little tool, easy to use, easy to learn, and especially if you don't have something. If you don't have something that you can on your phone or on your computer that you can set goals in and track them, and then List Perfectly's mobile responsive, works on your phone. Just make sure you have, it's a good idea. Save it on your home screen, open it up there, and you can get in there for your goals.
Yes, sir, you can. Well,
All
I
right.
hope this was helpful. Um, as always, thank you guys for coming. And we again would love to talk about whatever you guys are interested in. So please let us know. And I do think that a listing goal and a goal something, a listing challenge and some kind of goal challenge would be good for the summer. And I just want to point it out, we're going to have camp. It's been announced, but I want to make sure that everybody knows we're going to do camp listing party August 19th through the 23rd. And there'll be information probably coming out in the next week or two.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be, I mean, we're still planning some of it, but it's going to be a week of fun, a week
Yes,
of learning, a week of connecting and engaging. And it's going to be virtual. So there'll be stuff in listing party and some stuff that'll be open to the general public as well.
right. Um, And we'll also have some, theme stuff. It is camp, so you always have to have a good theme for some days. It'll be fun. We'll do some fun stuff, but we will, of course, try to give a lot of value because, again, like I said earlier, we know that we're not successful if you guys aren't successful. So that is our number one. That is what Doug and I are trying to do, right, Doug?
That's right. That's right. And yeah, no, and we enjoy doing this and helping out. And I'm no expert. I learned from Trish. I learned from you guys. And then, we do all kinds of stuff. And again, listing party is amazing. We've also got the Seller Community Podcast at thesellercommunitypodcast.com. Trish and I do this on Wednesdays. On Mondays, we have a listing party called Coffee Talk, where we
Coffee
hang
talk.
around the water cooler, the virtual water cooler. We talk about some stuff, some seller topics as well. And then Fridays, we've got the Friday Live. We've always got the blog at sellercommunityblog.com. We've got the Facebook group as well, just tons and tons of resources and lots more great stuff down, coming down the bend, coming down the pike,
Oh,
coming down
thanks,
the
Jill. That
river
was very sweet.
as I'm babbling on. Oh, Trish. Trish has
That was
her, yeah, Trish is a
very
great
nice.
mentor.
That was very nice. Thank you.
We don't know, Susan.
How do you find the time to be in those and still work? Do you Okay, so I do think there are some of them like Jill who is very good at working while she listens. I mean, absolutely. But then I do think, Susan, there are a lot of people who only go to one a day, like that will go to just mastermind to kind of like set their day up, or they just go to 411, or they just go to LP 101 if they need help with Theresa or eBay Basics. So I do think there are different kinds of people who work different ways. And I also think there are people, this is a pretty lonely thing to do. And I think there are a lot of people who think of everyone else as their coworkers. So they go to these things and they continue to work. So I get it, Susan. I am one of those people that I couldn't list and do this at the same time. So I don't do those. But I think Jill's pretty good at it. And she works another job. Jill just does 25 things at a time.
Look at this overachiever. Susie Yates is going to write her goals tonight. No, that's cool. I'm
Right,
sure
Susie.
Susie's had goals for years. But all right. Well, thank you, Trish.
You're
Trish, the
welcome, guys.
mentor, the mentor, the mythological creature that helps
Oh
others.
Lord. See Jill's so nice to me and you have to ruin it.
It's true though. You're so nice and so helpful.
Oh yeah. I thought I was a mentor.
The mythological creature that helps. But
Exactly.
thanks everyone for watching. This has
Bye
been
guys.
Reseller Tips, and we will see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.